You sit at the small kitchen table, papers and unpaid bills spread in front of you. The light above a tired yellow that makes everything seem even heavier. Your shoulders ache as if the weight of every loss has settled there at once, and your eyes feel dry from crying so much that no tears remain. Your phone lies face down beside your hand, full of messages you do not want to open and memories you are afraid to touch. My child, I see you here. I am with you in this quiet, in this cramped room where the air feels thick and your chest feels tight. I am closer to you than the surface of this table beneath your hands, closer than the pulse in your own wrist. You tell yourself that I have walked away, that I watched the bankruptcy come, watched the marriage break apart, watched the diagnosis arrive, and stayed silent. You say in your heart, if you were truly with me, it would not have gone this far. You do not dare to speak those words aloud, but they echo under every breath you take. I hear that echo. I hear the thought that says, you left me when I needed you most. I hear the questions you do not even shape into sentences, the raw ache behind your eyes when you stare at the ceiling at night. I do not turn away from any of it. I sit with you in this room that feels like the end of something, and I do not move away from your pain. Let your hands rest on the table for a moment. Notice the dull edge of the paper under your fingertips and the cool surface of the wood against your skin. As you become aware of these simple things, know that I am not watching you from far off. I am here, right beside you, steady and unmoving, while everything else in your life feels like it is falling apart. You look back over these last months and years and you see mostly loss. A home you had to leave behind, a relationship that fractured until you could not recognize it, a body that no longer responds the way it once did. You remember rooms you walked out of with your heart in pieces and nights in hospital corridors, where the smell of disinfectant made you feel even more alone. You say within yourself, I kept praying, I kept trusting, and still everything was taken. I know that is how it feels to you. I know that when you think of me now, the first sensation that rises in you is not comfort but disappointment. You remember the moments when you begged me to intervene and the outcome still broke your heart. You remember the silence after your last whispered prayer, the silence that seemed to say, your cries do not matter. You have begun to brace yourself against me, as if I am another person who might let you down. Let me name this gently for you. You are not only grieving what you lost, you are also grieving who you thought I would be for you. That grief is real. That grief is heavy. It lies across your chest like a stone when you wake up, and you wonder if you are allowed to bring it to me at all. You are allowed. You are allowed to bring me the anger you have pushed down. You are allowed to bring me the disappointment you feel in my silence. You are allowed to say, I do not understand why you let this happen. I do not shame you for feeling this way. I do not push you away because you are tired of holding everything together. Pay attention to your breathing for a moment. Notice how shallow it has become, how often you catch yourself holding it without realizing. Let one breath come in a little deeper, not to be brave, not to be strong, but only because I am here and I am holding this moment with you. Your courage is not in pretending you are fine. Your courage is in allowing yourself to be seen by me exactly as you are. You have learned to survive by keeping parts of your heart hidden. You smile when people ask how you are. You make light jokes. You change the subject. You tell them, God is good, while thinking quietly in the back of your mind, He was not good to me. You feel guilty for that thought. So you press it down further and further until it becomes a quiet ache that never leaves. I see beneath the surface of those words. When you say, "I am fine," I hear, "I am breaking." When you say, "I trust you," I hear the small, trembling voice inside that whispers, "Please do not hurt me again." I am not offended by this tension within you. I am not looking for you to perform perfect trust. I am looking at your trembling heart that still turns toward me, even while it is afraid. Let your eyes move slowly around this room. The sink with dishes you have not had the strength to wash. The chair that no one else is sitting in. The documents that speak of debts and endings and treatments. This is the place where you have quietly decided that you must walk alone from now on, because trusting me feels too dangerous. This is the place where you have started to believe that my presence is for other people, not for you. Right here, in this ordinary, messy space, I am already beside you. I am not waiting for you to be stronger or more grateful or more full of faith before I draw near. I am near to you while you are confused. I am near to you while you are disappointed in me. I am near to you while you are not sure if you even want to talk to me. You wonder, if you are here, why does it still hurt so much? You wonder, if you love me, why did you not stop what happened? These are not small questions. They are not questions that can be silenced with one sentence. I will not ask you to pretend they are answered when they are not. What I ask of you in this moment is smaller and softer than that. I ask you to let me sit with you in the pain you already feel. I ask you to allow the idea, even if it is only a fragile thought, that I have not abandoned you in this room. Once more, notice the edge of the paper beneath your fingertips, the slight coolness of the glass in the window, the quiet hum of the refrigerator in the background. These small sounds and sensations are not proof that everything is okay. They are places where my presence touches your world in ways you can feel right now, without forcing your heart to leap ahead of what it is ready to believe. You do not have to call this hope yet. You do not have to call this trust. For now, let it be this. You and I in this room, with nothing to hide and nothing to prove to me. Let your breathing be the only prayer you offer, and let me be the one who holds it. Even here, when you feel most abandoned, I am closer than you think. Even here, when loss seems to speak louder than my name, I am still speaking to your heart. You may not feel it clearly. You may not be able to name it yet, but I am not leaving this table. I am not leaving you. Can you let that possibility rest for a moment in the quiet between the sounds of this room, while your hand still touches the scattered papers and your heart still aches with everything you have lost? Your hand still rests on the scattered papers. The room stays quiet while the air around you feels a little warmer than before. Something subtle meets the heaviness in your chest, a steady feeling that touches you as you breathe again. I am here with you. I stay beside you in this room where fear lies open on the table. I remain close while your questions speak louder than your prayers. I do not wait outside your grief. I sit with you in it and do not move away. Your eyes lower because hope feels risky now. Each time you tried to trust, another loss arrived. Each time you whispered that you could not endure more, something else collapsed. You fear that believing in my nearness again will break your heart further. I understand that fear. Your heart has endured so much that it barely remembers the feeling of safety. You notice your breath shortening again and again, as if your body prepares for another blow. You wonder if I am only a memory of comfort you once held, rather than a presence that remains. Let your awareness rest on the weight of the chair beneath you. Notice how your spine softens slightly with each slow exhale. These small changes in your body are not proof that all is well. They are signs that you are not carrying this moment alone. Let me say this gently. I never stepped away from you. I did not turn from you in hospital corridors. I did not stay distant when your marriage fractured. I did not leave you during the nights when debt and exhaustion crushed your sleep. I did not leave you in the moments when you felt your heart collapse into silence. I was with you in the places where your strength disappeared. I was the quiet steadiness that kept your thoughts from falling apart. I was the breath that returned each morning, even when you longed for rest without waking. I was the strength that helped you make one more call, face one more appointment, survive one more night. Pain narrows your vision until all you see is loss. Suffering pulls the world tight until only survival remains. In such narrow places, even love feels far away. But love did not leave you. Let your gaze fall again to your hands on the table. Notice how they tremble less than they did a moment ago. Sense the slight easing in your jaw. These are small openings where my presence meets you without demanding anything. You do not need to believe completely right now. You do not need to trust without hesitation. Simply notice the quiet steadiness that stays with you. My child, you are grieving not only what you lost, but also the version of me you thought would shield you from loss. You believed love meant protection from all pain. When sorrow came, you assumed I had withdrawn. I did not withdraw. Some sorrows cannot be removed without unraveling the path your life has taken. Some losses rise from a world that breaks and falters, not from abandonment. You walked through these places with a heart that felt every impact. I walked beside you with a presence that held you even when you felt nothing. Allow your next breath to sink a little deeper. Let your shoulders drop by a small measure. Let this room be a place where your grief can rest for a moment. You do not need clarity. You do not need answers. All I ask is this. Allow the thought that I have not stopped being near. Hear the faint hum of the refrigerator. Hear the quiet ticking on the wall. These small sounds do not erase your pain, but they form a rhythm around it. In that rhythm, my presence touches you without pressure. You wonder if you will ever feel me again in the deep place where trust grows. You wonder if your heart can still open. It can, not because you force faith, not because you pray perfect words. It can because I remain bound to you with a love your grief cannot undo. Stay here with me a little longer. Let the warmth in your chest remain. Let the steadiness around you touch your breath. And let this question rise inside you. If I have been here all along, what else might your heart still learn to feel? The question you held at the end of the last moment still lingers in the room. It sits near your chest like a small ember, faint yet present. You wonder again if your heart can still learn to feel anything beyond exhaustion. The air around you carries a calmer weight, as if the silence itself has begun to soften. I am still here. I stay close while you examine the thoughts you have avoided for months. I remain within reach while your breath shifts from tightness towards something gentler. Your chest rises a little more freely with each inhale. It is the beginning of a slow return to yourself. You do not need to rush it. Your fingers rest on the papers as if they anchor you to the world you must face. The edges feel rough beneath your touch. You roll one corner without thinking, folding and unfolding it while your mind steps toward unfamiliar territory. You are noticing something new. It is small. It is fragile. It is real. Let me name it for you. You are beginning to recognize the difference between the world's abandonment and my nearness. They are not the same. They never have been. You breathe in again, slightly deeper this time. The chair beneath you feels more solid. The light above you, though dim, reveals gentle details in the room that you have not seen in many days. You notice the soft reflection on the window glass, the steady pulse of the clock, the uneven stack of envelopes. These details are not trying to comfort you. They simply tell the truth that life continues even in sorrow. Inside you, something begins to shift. It is not hope in its full form. It is closer to space opening. A small internal clearing where pain and presence can exist at the same time. You feared that allowing any sense of me would erase the legitimacy of your grief. It will not. I hold both with you. My child, the loneliness you carry has woven itself so tightly into your identity that it feels permanent. You are used to expecting hardship. You brace before anything unfolds. When a day begins quietly, you search for where it might break. Your heart has learned this posture from years of disappointment. It is not weakness. It is survival. Let your shoulders ease a little. Notice how they slide downward when you allow your breath to travel deeper. That slight movement introduces a new possibility. Your body is responding to my presence even before your mind fully accepts it. You fear that lowering your guard means opening yourself to more hurt. You fear that trust will only lead to another collapse. I understand why you protect yourself this way. You have built walls in places where there were once windows. You have covered your hope with caution. This is the wisdom of the wounded. I do not shame you for it. Yet even now, something inside you listens. It listens not to promises of an easier life, but to the steady truth that I do not leave you. It listens to the way your breath no longer feels like broken glass in your chest. It listens to the quiet warmth that surrounds your trembling. Rest your hand fully on the table. Feel the cool surface beneath your palm. Notice how your fingers curl slightly inward, no longer gripping the edges in fear. These simple movements show the beginning of trust. Not complete trust, not confident trust, but an early trust that allows me to be near without pushing me away. Let me speak to the doubt that remains. You believe that if I were truly here, your losses would have been prevented. You believe my love is measured by what I stop from happening. You judge my presence through outcomes you could not control. But my presence is not limited to prevention. My presence remains in the aftermath. My presence enters the rooms where your heart shattered and sits beside the pieces without rushing them back together. Look toward the window. The glass holds a faint reflection of your face. Your eyes look tired, yet softer. The lines of tension across your forehead ease with each breath. You see someone still grieving, but no longer entirely alone. You do not have to pretend you feel secure. You do not have to claim you have found clarity. What you feel right now is something smaller, but no less sacred. It is the first sensation of not being abandoned. You let a thought rise without fully shaping it. It is not a formal prayer. It is more like a question carried on your breath. You wonder if I see your attempts to hold yourself together. You wonder if I understand the pressure that squeezes your ribs when you think about tomorrow. I do. I see the way your hands tremble, then steady. I see the flicker of courage that rises only to fall again. I see the places where exhaustion has thinned your strength. I see the longing beneath your defenses. the longing to rest without waiting for the next devastation. Take another slow breath. Let the air travel deeper into your lungs. Notice the gentle release across your chest as the breath returns. You are not failing by needing this moment. You are not weak for wanting to be held by something greater than your fear. Let me tell you something true. Your heart is not finished. It has not closed forever. It has endured storms that would have crushed many. It continues to beat with quiet resilience even when you feel numb. That resilience is not separate from my presence. It is shaped by it. You look again at the scattered papers. They still represent loss, responsibility, and uncertainty. None of that has changed. Yet something in how you hold yourself before them is no longer the same. Your spine lifts slightly. Your breath steadies. Your gaze meets the world without collapsing. This is not denial. This is strength returning in small increments. You wonder if this gentle shift means you are expected to move quickly into hope. You fear being rushed. You fear being told that your sorrow has lasted long enough. I will not rush you. Your healing does not follow a clock. Your grief does not have an expiration. I walk with you through every slow step, every backward turn, every moment when you feel you are breaking again. Let this room be a sanctuary for this moment. Let the kitchen table become a place where you are allowed to unravel and allowed to breathe. Let this light, however dim, reveal not only what burdens you, but also what still lives in you. You sense another small question rising. It forms gently as you look at your hands. It asks if the strength you feel now could grow into something steady. It asks if this warmth in your chest could become a shelter in the days ahead. Hold that question for now. Let it rest without pressure, and allow this final thought to touch the quiet center of your heart. If your heart can feel even this small beginning, what might awaken if you let yourself be held for more than a moment? The question you held at the end of the last moment has not faded. It rests within you like a quiet pulse, steady and warm. Your eyes stay on the papers in front of you, yet most of your attention drifts inward, toward the slow awakening you sensed earlier. I see that movement inside you. It is subtle, almost hidden beneath your tiredness, yet it is real. The warmth in your chest remains, not bright or loud, but steady enough to remind you that something is shifting. You are not imagining it. You are not forcing it. It rises because I am with you. You straighten your posture slightly as you sit at the table. The change is small, but it affects everything. Your breath expands a little more. Your shoulders widen into the space around you. Your ribs loosen as if they trust the air to reach deeper than before. This is what supported strength feels like in its earliest form. It does not arrive as certainty. It does not arrive as confidence. It begins as a willingness to breathe without bracing for the next wound. It begins when you allow yourself to stay present in the room instead of shrinking from the shadows of your past. You glance toward the sink, noticing the unwashed dishes that once felt like proof of your failures. Today, they simply look like dishes waiting for a moment of energy. This change in perspective is small, yet it signals a quiet shift inside you. You are beginning to see the world without interpreting everything as evidence of your inadequacy. Let me stay with you in this shift. Your eyes lift to the window. The faint reflection of your face shows someone who is still weary but no longer collapsed. The line of your jaw softens when you exhale. The heaviness across your forehead eases as your gaze steadies on your own reflection. You are seeing yourself through a gentler lens. That gentleness does not erase the grief that shaped you. It does not deny the nights when you felt swallowed by silence. It does not diminish the sorrow you still carry. Instead, it gives your heart enough space to breathe beside the pain. My child, you have lived many seasons, believing strength meant staying composed. You thought it meant pretending you were unaffected. You believed it meant holding yourself together while breaking on the inside. But strength does not grow from hiding. It grows from being seen. I see you now. I see the layers of fear beneath your careful explanations. I see the moments when you wanted to scream but swallowed the sound. I see the nights when you stared at the ceiling and felt forgotten. I see the weight of your responsibilities, heavier than you ever admit aloud. Let your breath deepen again. The air that fills your lungs is not a command to be strong. It is an invitation to let me carry the parts of your heart that feel too heavy. You think that trusting me means risking disappointment again. You fear that if you lean on me, life will collapse once more. These fears are not irrational. They come from real wounds. But notice what is happening in your body. Notice how the trembling in your hands fades when you rest them on the table. Notice how your shoulders loosen when you lift your face toward the light. Your body recognizes my presence even when your mind hesitates. You shift slightly in your chair. The movement feels unfamiliar, as if your body is testing a new posture. You are exploring what it feels like to exist without expecting every moment to break. This exploration is holy. It is the ground where new courage forms. Let me speak into the place where your fear and your longing meet. You desire stability. You desire a sense of being held. You desire rest from the pressure to endure everything alone. These desires are not weaknesses. They are reminders of how you were created. You were never meant to shoulder life without support. Your gaze returns to the table. The envelopes still represent challenges waiting to be faced. They carry reminders of what was lost, yet something is different. You no longer feel crushed beneath their presence. You sense a quiet ability to face them in time, not because the burden has disappeared, but because you are not bearing it alone. I am with you in this room. I am with you in this breath. I am with you in the slow rebuilding of your strength. Your heart is learning the rhythm of presence. It beats slightly steadier now. It leans less toward collapse. It stretches into the possibility of standing again. You touch your chest with the tips of your fingers. You feel the faint thrum beneath your skin. It surprises you to feel how constant it is. You expected it to feel fragile. Instead, it feels persistent, a quiet sign that life still moves through you. This persistence is not accidental. It is shaped by every moment you chose to rise when everything in you wanted to stop. It is shaped by every breath you took through trembling. It is shaped by my closeness, even when you believed you were abandoned. Let me tell you something you have avoided admitting. You are stronger than you realize. Not because you hid your pain, but because you carried it with honesty. Not because you found easy answers, but because you kept breathing through unanswered questions. You look again at the window. The reflection is clearer now. Your posture is steadier. Your breathing is calmer. You are still grieving, but grief no longer has the same power to crush you. This is what inner rebuilding looks like, slow and sincere. You wonder quietly if this strength will last. You wonder if it will disappear the moment something difficult happens again. These thoughts rise gently, but they do not erase the warmth that remains in your chest. I will not allow this strength to vanish. I will grow it with you. I will steady it beneath your steps. I will remain close as it takes shape. Let this room continue to hold you. Let the dim light become a witness to your quiet return. Let the steady air remind you that you are not facing this season alone. A new thought enters your mind. It asks if there is a future where your heart can not only endure but also expand. It asks if life could hold meaning again. It asks if healing can move deeper than survival. Hold that thought. Let it rest without pressure, and allow this final question to prepare your heart for what comes next. If your strength is beginning to rise even here, what might grow when you let that strength walk beside my presence? The question you carried from the last moment settles again in your chest. It asks what might grow in you if the strength you are beginning to feel could walk beside my presence. You sit with that thought quietly, unsure whether it comforts you or frightens you. Both responses are honest. Both belong here. I am here with you while you explore what this means. You shift slightly in your chair. The movement is small, yet meaningful. Your body reacts before your mind forms conclusions. You breathe in more deeply than you expected and feel the air touch places that remained tight for a long time. As you exhale, a subtle release spreads through your shoulders. This is not bravery. It is permission. You are letting yourself imagine a future where my nearness supports each step. Your eyes drift to the window again. The faint reflection holds a softness that was not there even a few hours ago. It shows a face marked by grief, yet touched by a quiet resilience. You notice how the corners of your eyes relax when you look at yourself without judgment. For a brief moment, you see not the failures you feared, but the endurance that carried you to this moment. Let me stay close while you notice these things. Your gaze returns to the table. The envelopes and papers have not changed. They still hold challenges and reminders of what was lost. Yet your response to them is different. Instead of shrinking from their weight, you sit more steadily before them. You are not ready to face everything at once, and that is fine. What matters is that you no longer feel crushed the moment you see them. This shift inside you is significant. It means your heart is beginning to trust that strength can exist even in the presence of sorrow. It means you are allowing the possibility that the pain you endured did not erase every part of you. It means my presence is no longer only a question asked in fear, but a nearness you are slowly beginning to lean toward. You press your fingertips lightly against the table. The texture of the wood grounds you. Your pulse beats steadily beneath your skin. These sensations anchor you in the present moment. They remind you that your life is still unfolding, not frozen in the shadow of loss. You whisper a small thought inside yourself. It is fragile and uncertain. It asks if healing could be more than survival. It asks if your heart could learn to move again instead of only endure. I hear that thought. I hear the part of you that longs for rest, not just relief. I hear the part that wants to feel joy without waiting for it to vanish. I hear the part that wonders whether you were allowed to hope after everything that has happened. You are allowed. Hope does not require you to forget your grief. It does not require you to pretend the losses were small. Hope begins when you let your heart consider that your story is not finished. It grows when you allow yourself to imagine being held rather than abandoned. Your breathing deepens as you absorb this truth. Your chest rises and falls with a steady rhythm. You feel a warmth spreading slowly through your torso, not intense, but enough to remind you that life still moves within you. My child, the darkness you walked through was real. It shaped you in ways you are still uncovering, but it did not remove my presence. Even in the moments when you felt alone, I was holding you with a care too deep for you to sense. Pain can quiet awareness, yet it cannot erase connection. Let yourself rest in that for a moment. You do not need to analyze it. You do not need to justify it. Simply allow the idea that you were never abandoned, even when everything in you screamed otherwise. You place your hand on your chest again, feeling the rhythm beneath your palm. It is steady. It is patient. It tells a story of survival, but also of possibility. Your heart is responding to the idea of support, slowly and cautiously, yet genuinely. You look again at the reflection in the window. The face you see is still healing. It carries traces of weariness that may remain for a long time, but there is a new depth in your eyes, a quiet recognition that you are not facing this moment alone. This recognition matters. It reshapes how you sit. It reshapes how you breathe. It reshapes how you think about the hours ahead. Let me speak to the part of you that still hesitates. You fear that stepping forward will make you vulnerable again. You fear that leaning on my presence means opening your heart to disappointment. Those fears are understandable. They come from real wounds. But listen closely. You are not being asked to leap. You are being asked to breathe with me, one moment at a time. Forward movement does not require certainty. It requires presence. You rest your palms on the table. The weight of your arms feels lighter. You notice how your spine lifts slightly. The posture is new but not forced. It grows naturally from the steadiness you feel around you. Your body is learning a truth your mind has not fully named. It is learning that it is safe to exist without anticipating collapse. It is learning that strength does not have to be loud or bold. It can be quiet, grounded, and supported. You look at the envelopes again. Their contents have not changed, yet your relationship to them is shifting. You sense that, in time, you will face what they contain, not through sheer willpower, but through a strength that flows from being held. Let this room hold you a little longer. Let the dim light remind you that clarity does not have to arrive all at once. Let your breath confirm what your heart is discovering. You are not abandoned. You are accompanied. A gentle thought rises within you. It wonders whether this supported strength could lead you beyond mere endurance. It asks if you could step into days that feel meaningful again. It asks if the heart that once felt shattered could become a place where new beginnings form. Hold that thought with care. It is a seed, not a demand. And allow this final question to guide you toward what comes next. If you can feel supported strength here in this quiet room, what might happen when you let that strength guide your first small steps forward? You stand at the table with a quiet steadiness in your chest. You still feel unsure about your next steps, and yet you sense the hint of strength that began to rise in the last moments. I stay with you while that new strength waits to move. My child, I am here with you. The light near your window falls softly upon your hands. That same light held your tears last night. It holds your fragile courage today. Let me speak to you in this gentle place. You are safe with me. You do not need to rush. You only need to breathe with me. You wonder what the first true step looks like. You look at the same papers on the table and notice that nothing around you has changed. Yet something inside you has shifted. The weight that once pressed hard on your chest feels different now. I see the way you touch the edge of the table. You are grounding yourself in this moment. You are trying to listen for the next direction. You think the step must be large. It does not need to be large. It only needs to be yours. You have carried many losses, each one reshaped the way you hold hope. Each one tried to silence your desire to move forward. Yet you are here. You are still breathing. You are still searching for me in the quiet. Let me tell you this with tenderness. I never left you. Even when you feared I had turned away, I was already holding your breaking heart. You felt abandoned because pain grew louder than my presence. But my presence never truly left. Feel your hands again. They are steadier than they were. That steadiness is not an accident. It grows from our time together in this quiet room. Take one breath with me. Feel the warm air move through your chest. That warmth reflects the soft renewal beginning inside you. This is how restoration often works. Quiet, patient, gentle. You wonder which direction is right. You feel the pressure to choose the perfect path. Release the need for perfection. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be willing. Look at the papers again. Some represent loss. Some represent fear. Some represent the life you once had. You do not need to resolve everything today. Choose one page. Let your hand rest lightly upon it. Allow yourself to feel only this moment. I am with you in this moment. I am holding the tension in your shoulders. I am guiding your breath back to a steady rhythm. You ask me quietly why the path could not have been easier. You ask why so much was taken from you. You ask why the storms came one after another. I hear each question. I do not dismiss your pain. I hold your pain with reverence. Let me offer one truth. The storms did not define you. They revealed the resilience already inside you. You thought the storms ruined you. They have been shaping a deeper strength within you. Feel the table under your fingertips. Its solid surface reminds you that not everything gives way. Feel your breath. It rises and falls. It carries you even when you feel too tired to move. I want you to see something small yet important. You are still here. You are still reaching toward life. You are still listening for my voice. That desire is a sign of life inside you. That desire is already a step. You worry that moving at all will hurt. You fear that stepping forward means losing the last pieces of what once mattered. I know that fear. I hold it gently. Lean into my presence. Allow my steady peace to rest upon your back like a warm hand. You are not walking alone. Every step you take today, no matter how small, moves with my strength beneath it. Look at the window again. Notice the faint shimmer of dust in the air. That shimmer is not a sign of emptiness. It is a sign of light entering your world again. You once believed the light had died. The light is returning. You ask if you still have a future. Let me answer softly. Yes, you do. It may not look like the one you lost, yet it will hold meaning. It will hold warmth. You lift your head a little higher. Your shoulders relax. Your breath steadies again. I want you to consider something. Not everything needs to be solved for movement to begin. Sometimes the first step is simply letting your heart soften again. You are doing that now. You look down at your hands. They tremble less than before. You press your palms lightly to the table. This small act matters. It is a declaration that you are alive and willing to rise. Let me speak clearly. I am with you. I walk with you. I steady the places inside you that still feel fragile. You lift one page from the table. You do not know what to do with it. That uncertainty is allowed. Hold the page. Let your breathing guide you. Feel the weight of the paper. Feel the reality that you have survived the story written upon it. Hear this with your whole being. Your losses were real. Your grief was valid. But your life is not finished. I remain the one who walks beside you. Take another breath. Let the air fill your chest with quiet warmth. Let it remind you that your story still moves. You place the page back down. A gentle resolve begins to form in your mind. You cannot name it yet. That is fine. Some strength grows unnamed. Listen to me. You are not failing. You are healing. Healing moves slowly. Healing asks for patience. Healing asks for presence. I am present here. You raise your eyes and look outward. The world beyond the window seems unchanged. Yet your awareness of it is different. You sense the possibility of movement. Let me reassure you. Every forward step is carried on a foundation of grace. You do not need to earn this grace. It already surrounds you. Keep breathing with me. Your breath is the anchor that returns you to hope. Let me give you one more truth before this moment closes. The path ahead will not be walked by your strength alone. My strength will hold you when you falter. My peace will steady your fears. My presence will walk each step beside you. You look again at the paper on the table. You sense that the first step might not be a physical action. It might be a soft shift inside your heart that says you are ready to live again. Let that shift settle. Let it breathe. Let it rise in its own time. I am with you. That is your foundation. And as this moment settles, one quiet question forms within you. What might the next small step reveal if you trust the strength awakening now? You remain at the table with your hands resting on the papers. A quiet resolve settles in your chest. Your breath rises with a steadier rhythm. Your shoulders soften. You are beginning to notice the strength that waited beneath your grief. My child, I am here. I feel your hesitations and your hopes. I stay with you in this room as the light at the window touches the edges of the pages before you. Let me meet you in this moment. You do not need to move quickly. You only need to stay open. You hold a question in your heart. You wonder what the first true step might reveal. You fear discovering that you are not ready. You fear discovering that you are still broken. Listen closely. Readiness is not the absence of fear. Readiness is the willingness to move even while fear lingers. Look at your hands again. They tremble less than before. That steadiness is a sign of something sacred rising within you. Let your fingers rest lightly on the nearest page. You do not need to read it fully. You only need to feel its weight. You survived every word written there. You endured every moment that shaped those memories. You think movement must start with confidence. It rarely does. Most movements begin with quiet surrender, a small yes, a single breath that turns into another. That is where you are now. Let me reassure you. You do not walk into this next step alone. I walk with you. I steady your breath. I support the fragile places within you. Lift your eyes for a moment and look toward the window. Notice how the light shifts gently across the room. It moves slowly. It does not rush the morning. It reveals only what each moment can hold. Your steps can be like that light. Slow, honest, gentle. You ask why this next step feels so heavy. It feels heavy because loss reshaped the ground beneath you. It feels heavy because you learned to brace yourself against disappointment, to expect pain before you expect peace. Let me ease that weight. Place one hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. It still beats with longing. It still beats with desire for life. That longing is not weakness. It is strength waking from its rest. You look again at the papers and consider picking one up. You hesitate. You think you must have the full picture before acting. You believe you must understand every outcome before you move. That belief has held you in place far longer than the pain itself. Let your breath guide you. Let the stillness guide you. Listen for the gentle shift in your heart that says you are ready to try. Pick up one page. Hold it. Do not judge it. Do not fear it. It is a part of your story, not your whole story. I am with you as you hold it. I am with you as your breath steady. I am with you as a small clarity begins to rise. You begin to realize something. Movement is not about conquering every fear. Movement is about trusting that my presence meets you in each step. Place the page down again. This simple motion carries meaning. It shows that you can touch your pain without collapsing under it. It shows that strength has begun to grow roots within you. Let me speak softly to your heart. You have asked me many times if you are still capable of living a full life. You have asked if you can trust again. You have asked if hope will fail you. I answer with tenderness. Yes, you can trust again. Yes, you can hope again. Yes, you can live again. Let this truth settle gently. It does not need to arrive loudly. It only needs to be real. Take one step in your mind. Imagine rising from the table. Imagine walking toward the room beyond this one. Imagine opening a door. You do not need to move your body yet. Let your imagination prepare the ground within you. Your imagination is a doorway. It teaches your heart that movement is possible. Look again at the table. The light reflects softly on its surface. The reflection reminds you that clarity comes in pieces, not all at once, not always in bright flashes, but in soft glimmers. You have begun to see those glimmers. They are the beginnings of direction. You place both hands flat on the table. Your breath deepens. The air feels warmer. Peace rests on your shoulders. Lean into this peace. Let it steady the trembling questions inside you. You may think the next step must be large. It does not need to be large. A step taken in my presence, no matter how small, has greater strength than a stride taken in fear. Let your heart soften. Let your breath open. Let your shoulders release the last of their tension. You prepare to choose one action. Something small, something real, perhaps reading one paragraph, perhaps making one call, perhaps placing one paper aside. These small actions carry the seeds of renewal. I bless your willingness. I bless the quiet courage forming inside you. You stand slowly. Your legs feel steady. You feel the warmth of the floor beneath your feet. You feel the air shift as you rise. Do not rush. Take a moment to feel the way your breath adjusts to standing. Feel how your spine lengthens. Feel how your awareness widens. I stand beside you. I support the fragile hope blooming in your chest. You look around the room and see familiar objects. Each one reminds you of the life you still carry. Each one reminds you that your story continues. You take one step, a single step, small, honest, real. That step matters. It is not about distance. It is about direction. Your heart tightens for a moment. Fear rises. Uncertainty whispers. Let your breath steady again. Fear does not lead you. I lead you. Take another slow breath. Feel the warmth return. Feel your chest open. Let me tell you something gentle. Every step you take in this season invites healing to walk with you. Healing does not chase you. It moves with you. The room feels different now. Not because the light changed, but because you changed. Return your hand to the table for a moment. Let your fingertips touch the surface again. This simple return reminds you that grounding and movement can coexist. You have taken your first real step. You have allowed your heart to rise. You have allowed hope to breathe. Let this truth settle. You are no longer standing in the same place where sorrow held you. You have moved, and as this moment closes, a question forms in your heart. What might happen if you trust your steps to grow steadier with each day? You stand near the table for a quiet moment. Your breath steadies in the light that falls across the floor. The echo of the last question rises again inside you. You wonder what might unfold if your steps grow steadier each day. I hear that question, and I meet you within it. My child, I am here with you. I see the tremble fading from your hands. I see gentleness returning to your posture. You are beginning to recognize yourself again. Stay here with me as you breathe. You do not need to perform anything. You only need to be present. Presence is the doorway where healing begins. You rest your fingertips on the edge of the table. The surface feels familiar and solid. It grounds you. Each moment of grounding quietly reminds you of who you are becoming, not who you are afraid you still are. Look at your reflection in the window. The glass cannot hold your whole story, but it reveals something true. Your posture carries a quiet strength. Your eyes carry a trace of returning hope. This is the beginning of identity rising again. Let me tell you what I see. I see a heart that has endured storms and still beats with courage. I see someone bent by grief yet not broken. I see one who has walked through loss and still reaches for the light. You once believed your suffering erased your worth. It did not. Your worth was never shaped by events. It has always rested in my hands. It remains untouched. Place your palm against your chest. Feel the steady rhythm beneath your hand. That rhythm tells you that you are alive. That rhythm carries purpose. You ask quietly if you are still loved. You ask if I still call your name. You ask if your identity has been altered beyond repair by what you endured. Listen closely. You are loved. I call your name with tenderness. Your identity has been refined, not erased. Look at the table again. The papers remain. They speak of what happened, but they do not speak the truth of who you are. Painful events shape chapters. They do not write your definition. Lean your weight slightly forward. Feel your feet firm beneath you. Feel your spine align. This simple stance mirrors a deeper reality. You are rising. Hear me clearly. You are not the sum of your losses. You are not the echo of what was taken. You are not the shadow grief tried to leave behind. You are my beloved child. You lift one paper and study the letters across the page. They once felt heavy, like chains. Today they feel different. Today they feel like something you can face. This shift matters. It shows that your identity is no longer tied to the weight of your sorrow. It shows that you are beginning to see yourself through my eyes. Set the paper down gently. Let your breath expand. Let the warmth in the room settle across your shoulders. You wonder who you are becoming. You sense a new shape forming, but you cannot yet name it. That uncertainty is allowed. Identity often grows quietly before it reveals itself. Let me name what is growing. You are becoming steady. You are becoming open. You are becoming someone who carries quiet resilience. You are becoming someone capable of love again. Your eyes lift to the window. The light has shifted, spreading across the floor in a soft glow. That light reminds you of a truth you once forgot. You were made for more than survival. You were made to shine. Take a moment. Feel the air move across your skin. Feel the room settle around you. Feel your heart soften. Your identity is not fragile. It is held within my presence. It is shaped by my love. You close your eyes for one deep breath. You feel my steadiness resting along your back. You sense my quiet guidance in the way your shoulders let go of their remaining tension. Hear another truth. You are not rebuilding your life alone. I rebuild with you. I restore with you. I walk each step with you. You open your eyes. The familiar room looks new, not because anything changed outside, but because something shifted inside. Your identity is awakening. Look again at the papers. Where once you saw failure, now you begin to see chapters. Where once you saw endings, now you can sense transitions. Where once you saw only loss, now you glimpse the possibility of renewal. Let your breath deepen. Let your heart receive the truth rising inside you. You ask softly if you are strong enough to keep walking. You ask if you have what it takes to rebuild. My answer is gentle and unwavering. Yes, you do. You have carried more strength than you ever believed. Place your hand on the table once more. Feel its firmness. Feel your own grounding in response. You begin to hear a quiet statement forming inside you. It does not arrive loudly. It does not arrive with full certainty. It arrives like a whisper. I am still here. I am still becoming. Let that whisper live. Let it grow. You shift your weight. You stand taller. You feel the air move around your body with subtle warmth. Peace settles along your spine. I call you precious. I call you mine. I call you beloved. These words do not describe what you must become. They describe what you already are. Remember what grief tried to cover. You carry endurance. You carry compassion. You carry the ability to rise from places where others have fallen. The world did not take these things from you. Pain did not erase them. They are woven into who you are. You take a slow breath and glance once more at the window. The light seems brighter now. This brightness reflects the shift within your identity. As you open to truth, truth opens to you. Let me offer you one more reassurance. Your identity is not being patched together from fragments. It is being revealed from within. I am uncovering what was always there. Stand in that truth for a moment. Feel it. Let it rest inside your chest. And as your awareness widens, a new question forms. What might your life look like when you walk fully as the one I call mine? You remain standing near the table as the earlier question settles within you. You wonder what your life might look like when you walk fully as the one I call mine. The question feels larger than you expected. It stretches gently inside your chest, like a doorway opening. I am here with you while you face that doorway. I stand beside you as you breathe into the possibility of becoming. Take another slow breath. Feel how your chest expands with a steadier rhythm. Feel how the air carries both tenderness and strength. These sensations are not random. They show your identity beginning to shape your movement. Look toward the window. The light has shifted again. It reaches farther across the room, as if inviting you to step forward. Light often invites rather than demands. Stay close to me as you notice what awakens inside you. You place one hand on the back of the chair. The wood feels cool beneath your palm. This simple contact grounds you. It reminds you that you remain in the same room, surrounded by familiar objects, yet no longer held in the same posture of sorrow. Your identity is no longer hiding beneath grief. It is rising. Let me speak to that rising. You were created for more than endurance. You were created for movement, connection, and purpose. Even when you felt lost, these truths remained inside you like seeds waiting for light. You glance again at the papers on the table. They no longer intimidate you as they once did. Instead of symbols of failure, they now look like tasks that can be faced in time. Identity shapes how you see them. When you see yourself as broken, every task feels impossible. When you see yourself as mine, each step becomes possible. Lift one page. Notice your breath. It does not tighten. It stays steady. This is progress. This is growth. Set the page down gently and feel how calm your body remains. You ask softly what your direction should be. You want clarity. You want assurance that the path ahead will not collapse. I understand your desire. I understand the wounds that shaped it. Let me guide you slowly. Direction does not begin with tasks. It begins with identity. You move in the direction of who you are becoming. Look again at your reflection in the window. The face you see is no longer defined by what you lost. It is shaped by the presence that holds you. The softness in your eyes reveals a quiet truth. You are awakening. Let this truth guide your thoughts. Let it shape the way you imagine your future. You place your hand upon your chest. You feel your heartbeat, steady and patient. That rhythm carries purpose. It carries calling. It carries the imprint of my love. You ask if calling must be something large. You ask if purpose requires dramatic change. Listen closely. Purpose begins with small alignments. Purpose begins with choosing what reflects who you are, not who your pain told you to be. Let me describe what I see forming in you. I see compassion shaped by sorrow. I see strength softened by tenderness. I see wisdom carved by endurance. I see someone who can walk with others because they have walked through fire. These qualities are not burdens. They are guiding lights. You lift your gaze toward the doorway leading to the next room. It looks ordinary, yet something inside you feels drawn toward it. The doorway symbolizes movement. It reminds you that your life extends beyond this moment. Take a slow breath as you imagine walking toward that doorway. You are not leaving anything behind. You are carrying a steadier identity with you. Let me reassure you. I will guide your steps. I will shape your decisions. I will steady your heart. Return your attention to the table. The light reflects softly on its surface. That reflection shows how clarity often comes in pieces. You have enough clarity to take the next step. You do not need more than that. You ask again what your direction should be. You want a map. You want assurance. But maps are often given to avoid trust. Instead, I give you my presence. My presence is your direction. Listen to the shift in your breath. It deepens. It steadies. This is how your heart responds to truth. You are becoming someone who can walk forward without certainty yet, without fear. Let me show you another way to see your future. Imagine standing on a path lit only by the next few steps. You cannot see far ahead, but you can see enough to move. The light expands each time you trust it. Your journey will be like this, step by step, breath by breath, strength rising from identity. Look again at the reflection in the window. Your posture is upright. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your breath is deep. This is what direction looks like before movement. It begins inside you. Place both hands on the table. Feel the firmness beneath your palms. Allow your body to absorb the truth that you are supported. You whisper a new question. You ask if you can live with purpose again. You ask if hope can become more than a feeling. You ask if the past will always overshadow your steps. I hear each question. I answer each one with tenderness. Yes, you can live with purpose again. Yes, hope can become a steady companion. No, the past will not overshadow what you choose to walk toward. Take another breath. The air feels warm against your chest. Warmth often signals alignment. Your identity and your direction are beginning to match. Look at the papers once more. You notice something subtle. They no longer feel like obstacles. They feel like pieces of a life you are ready to rebuild. Hear me clearly now. Your life is not meant to remain paused. Your life is meant to grow. Growth will look different each day, but it will come. You step back from the table. Your stance widens slightly. This shift prepares your body for forward motion. You feel steadiness rise from your feet to your spine. The world beyond the window waits quietly. It does not rush you. It does not pressure you. It simply opens. Take one slow step toward the doorway. Do not force anything. Let your breath guide your movement. Feel how every part of your body responds. This step carries significance. It symbolizes your willingness to let identity shape direction. Stand in the doorway for a moment. Look back at the table. It held your sorrow. It held your questions. It held your beginnings. Now it holds your growth. Let your breath release gently. Feel the tension leave your shoulders. Feel the peace settle at the base of your spine. You might wonder if you are ready. Readiness is not measured by certainty. Readiness is measured by willingness. And you are willing. Take another breath. Light touches your face. Identity and direction align as you step into the next moment. And as this moment settles, a new question rises in your heart. What might your life reveal when you walk with purpose, shaped by who you truly are? You remain standing in the doorway with the question from the last moment resting warmly inside your chest. You wonder what your life might reveal when you walk with purpose, shaped by who you truly are. The question feels gentle yet expansive. It seems to open the air around you with possibility. I am here with you as you breathe into this new space. I stay at your side as who you are begins to settle into your steps. Take a slow breath. Feel how your chest rises with calm strength. Feel the warmth that settles in your shoulders. These sensations are signs that you are beginning to live from what you have discovered. Look toward the table once more. It held your grief. It held your questions. It held your first movements. Now it holds the memory of your rising. You do not stand in the same posture you once did. You stand with a steadiness that comes from truth. Turn your attention to the window. Light touches your face with quiet invitation. It reveals the soft contours of your expression. It reflects a heart that has endured much and still chooses to move. Let me speak to that heart. You have walked through darkness that once felt endless. You survived nights when you questioned your worth. You carried burdens that threatened to silence your hope. Yet through every moment, your identity remained held in my hands. My presence remained near. You place one hand against the doorway. The wood feels steady beneath your palm. That steadiness mirrors the support you now feel inside yourself. You are not bracing for collapse. You are preparing for growth. You ask me softly if the future will hold pain. You ask if disappointment will rise again. You ask if you are strong enough to face whatever comes. These questions are natural. They come from a heart that once lived in survival. Let me answer with tenderness. Yes, life will bring challenges, yet you will not face them alone. You will not walk through them with the same weight you once carried. Your strength has deepened. Your identity has awakened. My presence remains your foundation. Feel this truth rest gently in your chest. It does not demand, it settles. You take one slow step beyond the doorway and then pause. The movement feels symbolic. It marks the moment you choose to live by who you are, rather than by what wounded you. Let your breath guide the next moment. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. Notice how the air carries a sense of forward motion. You return your gaze to the table behind you. The distance between where you stand now and where you stood before reflects your journey. It is not measured in feet. It is measured in freedom. Your identity no longer clings to sorrow. It breathes with resilience. It leans into purpose. Let me speak a truth over you. You have always been capable of moving with purpose. Pain obscured that truth, but it never erased it. I am revealing it again. Look again at your reflection in the window. You see a person marked by compassion, wisdom, and strength. You see someone who can walk through the world with openness rather than fear. You see someone who carries both tenderness and courage. Let this reflection remind you of who you are becoming. You take another step into the room beyond the doorway. The air feels slightly different. It holds possibility. It holds invitation. It holds the quiet promise of a future built on truth rather than survival. You ask me quietly if I will remain with you as you walk forward. My answer rises without hesitation. Yes, I will. I remain with you in every breath, every step, and every moment of your becoming. Feel the weight of this assurance. Let it rest in your chest. Let it anchor your thoughts. Return to your breath again. Let each inhale remind you that you are supported. Let each exhale remind you that you are free to release the remnants of what once held you. You turn slightly and look back into the kitchen. The familiar objects appear softer. The room carries the memory of your healing. It carries the echoes of your questions and the warmth of my presence. This room held your first steps. Now it becomes a place you can return to with gratitude, not fear. Let me tell you what I see as you stand here. I see someone capable of rebuilding with gentleness. I see someone who will carry compassion into the lives of others. I see someone who will move with quiet purpose, shaped by truth and tenderness. These qualities are not merely potential. They are already alive within you. You lift your head slightly higher. You feel the length of your spine. You feel the connection between your breath and your posture. These subtle shifts show that you are living from identity rather than reaction. This is integration. This is peace settling within you. Let your hands relax at your sides. Feel the openness in your palms. That openness reflects a heart no longer closed by fear. You ask what comes next. You wonder how to begin a life shaped by truth. You wonder what your purpose will look like in the days ahead. My child, purpose begins with presence. Stay present with me. Stay connected to the truth of who you are. Your steps will reveal the rest. Look toward the light coming through the window. Notice how it widens as the day moves forward. Your path will widen in the same way. Not suddenly, but steadily. Take a breath and feel the calm expand across your chest. You are ready for what comes. Not because the future is certain, but because you are no longer walking alone. Let me speak a final truth over you. You are held. You are guided. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Nothing that comes will separate you from my presence. Stand with this truth. Let it settle into your whole being. You turn once more toward the room ahead. You do not rush. You do not force movement. You let your breath lead. The quiet inside you feels different now. It feels steady. It feels whole. Remain here for one final breath. Let it gather every moment of this journey. Let it hold the places where you broke and the places where you healed. Let it rest upon the parts of you still becoming. My child, hear me clearly. You have walked through darkness that tried to silence you. You have carried losses that carved deep into your heart. Yet here you stand, not by accident, not by luck, by resilience shaped within you and presence woven around you. You are not who the pain tried to name. You are who I call mine. Place your hand upon your heart. Feel its rhythm. It is steady. It is brave. It is alive with purpose. This rhythm is not only a reminder of what you survived. It is a declaration of who you are becoming. So receive this blessing deep within yourself. May your steps be rooted in courage. May peace rest upon your shoulders like warm light. May hope rise before fear remembers your name. May compassion guide the way you see the world. May strength return to you in quiet, steady waves. May rest find you in the moments you need it most. May you feel my nearness in every breath you draw. Lift your head. Look toward the room ahead. The path before you is not empty. It is open. You walk forward now, not as someone abandoned, but as someone held. You walk forward not as someone broken, but as someone becoming whole. You walk forward not alone, but with my presence woven into every step. Hold this truth as the final note in your heart. You are held. You are guided. You are seen. You are loved. Your story continues from here. Walk forward in the fullness of who you are. I am with you always.